Hey folks, Lois back once again. I know it's been a couple of days since y'all seen me. I hope everyone's doing well, and I will say welcome to spring. Yesterday was the first day of spring, so we're in springtime now. So I definitely look forward to it warming up now. But hey, it gets cold here in Georgia, but not as bad as it does in other places. But hey, it can get pretty cold, let me tell you. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoy my TV show collection of Superman Lois. And today, I just watched the first season of Superman Lois. So this video is going to be called My Thoughts/Favorite Episodes of Superman Lois. Right away, y'all, this is the end of my Superman marathon. So, yeah, this is the end. We started with my history with Superman. It was back in January, I think, of 2021, maybe? When I started doing this Superman marathon, starting with the Superman marathon. So now we're ending it with Superman and Lois. So let's just get to it, shall we? Alright, Superman and Lois, I thought this was a great season. I love the show. This is a lot better than Supergirl Season 6 they had. It wasn't woke. It really had a good story. It is interesting to see Superman and Lois be parents. You know, Superman tackling adulthood. I mean, not adulthood, but parenthood of being a father. And, of course, you know, being a superhero of Superman at the same time, while being a husband and father as well. So, yeah. And it has a really good story to it as well. But anyway, 15 episodes in this season, and I'm going to say right now I enjoyed all of them. So, yeah, this might be a long video, but I'll get to it. So, get to what this season's about. Alright, pretty much what Superman Lois the first season about. Oh, now I will give everybody a heads up. I will not be talking about the second season, so that's still ongoing. It might be someday down the road. So, just stay forward. No more Superman stuff for now. Superman videos for now. This is it. This is the last Superman video for now. So, anyway, in the first season, Clark Kent, Superman, and Lois Lane return to Smallville with their sons, Jonathan and Jordan Kent, where they are reacquainted with Lana Lang, her husband Kyle Cushing, and their daughter Sarah. Their idyllic lives are upended when the stranger enters, as well as by the secret experiments of Morgan Edge, who was doing some secret experiments. He's giving people powers in Smallville, and I'll give you a little more spoilers ahead if you haven't seen the first season. So, yeah. So my favorite episodes, of course, start with the pilot. Yes. Pretty much the season opens with Clark Kent talking about his history, talking about how he became Superman. You see a bit of his past about him talking about being from Krypton, to him being a teenager, Jonathan, his stepfather, his Earth father, Jonathan Kent, dying from a heart attack, and him going to the fortress, years of learning his powers, and eventually going to the Daily Planet and using his superpowers and becoming Superman. And of course meeting Lois Lane and falling in love with her. Eventually, that's how he recaps the story, tells you how they met, they fell in love, he told her he was Superman, they got married, they had sons, John and Jordan. Jonathan is more of the popular kid, loves to get the attention. And Jordan has a bit of anxiety. He's more the shy kid. He has anxiety attacks sometimes. And for their protection, they don't tell their kids who he really is. They just think their dad is like, the whole world thinks that Clark Kent is just a lazy, bumbling reporter, who drops things and can't pick up nothing. But I like what I like about this episode when we start off, you see him save a kid in a car. Well, not a car, but a car from falling on a little kid. And the suit that he's wearing, the Superman suit that he's wearing, is from the 1940s cartoon. Yes, the Fletcher cartoons, which was a good throwback to that. That was awesome. And this kid says thanks. He's like, nice costume. He's like, thanks. My mom made it for me. And then he flies off. But you find out that Morgan Edge buys out the Daily Planet. Clark eventually gets fired. He gets a call about his mom, about Martha. Martha, calls him that, he should have visited sometime. Eventually Martha passes away. Clark, rushes away there. supersedes there, and it's just it's a sad moment. And of course, he still saves people as Superman half the time. You do see him telling to Jonathan and Jordan most of the time, but doesn't have a really good relationship with them. When Jordan is playing the Injustice video game, he's playing as Superman. He even calls Superman overrated, which his dad's like, Florida's like, okay. But when Martha dies, they throw a funeral for her. He sees Lana Lang again, who was his old girlfriend. She has a daughter, and Sarah talks to Jordan and Jonathan. You can tell Jordan has a crush on Sarah, likes her right away when he first meets her. She invites them to a party. They'll probably stay in Smallville for a couple days. But in the bar, what happens is these pipes fall on Jonathan and Jordan, but they end up being okay. And Clark realizes that one of them has powers, because since there was no Superman, they would have abilities like him. And Morgan Edge, who's the CEO of Edge Corp, like I said, he buys the Daily Planet. Lois ends up quitting her job there. She refuses to work for Morgan Edge. She's like, the best writing I've ever done. And he reads her writing. She says 2 words: I quit. But Morgan Edge is also coming to Smallville to offer better jobs for people. And Lois' husband Kyle, you can think he's a bit of a jerk first, but you do realize on the season going he's not. But he supports them. He's offering people Smallville jobs, because offering them better job opportunities and stuff. But Lois doesn't trust him, thinks he's up to something. Eventually, Jonathan and Jordan find out Clark's ship, and they tell him, we've seen Superman before, you're not Superman. And then he takes off his glasses. The scene here where he picks up the truck, and Lois is like, boys, I know it can be a bit of a shock to find out he's Superman. It took me a while to adjust it too, but he is Superman. And he also, sometimes Superman eventually works with the DOD, run by General Sam Lane, Lois' father, his father-in-law. And he does not support General Sam doesn't support Clark for telling them the boys the truth. They don't need to know the truth. It's too dangerous to know. Like, Clark, I can't believe you did that. That was my decision, Sam. They're my sons. It's my choice, Eventually, Jordan and Jonathan go to that party. As Jordan is talking to Sarah, he eventually kisses her, which she has a high school boyfriend who was a jock. This jock comes to start fighting him. Jonathan sticks up for him. They beat Jonathan up a bit, and by accidentally, Jordan loses, kind of just loses control, and you find out he's the one who has the powers, because there's the bonfire. He uses heat vision, goes off by accident. Just heat vision goes crazy out of his eyes, and you find out he's the one that has Superman's abilities. You have a mysterious enemy. One pilot episode, you have a cargo ship or an oil tanker being attacked, and Superman comes to save them. Kind of reminded me of Superman 3. He ices the water, picks up the ice water, and saves the people. And eventually they do with a mysterious stranger he uses a powered exosuit. He's basically a stranger that Superman has to fight. And Superman sees that he's led. He's like very smart. Superman chasing him. Him and Superman, fighting the air a little bit. He's like, Kal-El, you're weak. Kal-El, you're a threat to my world. And he stabs Clark. He stabs Superman with kryptonite until Lois needs to call him for help, and Superman is able to, get the kryptonite out of him and fly to him. But he ends up being okay. And eventually at the end, Lois and Clark decide to buy the kit for him, talking to Lana because she's a bank manager or bank accountant or whatever, and they're able to get a loan for it. And the mysterious man is called Captain Luther. He's like, Kal-El would not do to this world what he did to mine. So you can tell that he's the stranger, which is named John Henry Irons, is still. And only suit he calls on is like a halo suit. Calls him Captain Luthor, and we figure out he's decided to take down Superman. But the pilot episode, I think it was about 2 hours long, but it was really good. Really good start for the series, in my opinion. A good episode. Alright. And another favorite of mine is called Heritage. Clark takes Jordan to the Force of Solitude to meet Jor-El, and Jor-El eventually says, "The boy has no powers. He's nothing like you." And this pretty much, Jonathan's even jealous because he doesn't have these powers and feels like, Jordan gets to spend more time with his dad than he does. So there's that jealousy there between them, a little bit of drama between them going on. Captain Luthor eventually continues searching to kill Superman. Well, Captain Luthor, the man in the I guess you could say halo-looking suit, in the armor suit, is trying to kill Superman. He's looking for more kryptonite. And Jor-El also teaches Jordan about the history of Krypton as well. At first, Jonathan, he's picked on by the boys that he fought with, and he's also becoming part of the football team. He even tells the coach, "Hey, coach, I can do this. I can be your quarterback. I'm good." And when the coach doesn't like that, he has an ego. But at first, Jonathan begins to hate living in Smallville. Does complain about it, but eventually, over time, he'll get used to it. Smallville has a town meeting with Morgan Edge to tell them what they're going to do with the town, and Lois tries to ask some questions, but again he refuses. And her husband, Lana's husband Kyle, who fully supporting the mayor and supporting, because he's like he's like the fire chief, for the fire station for Smallville, and he's heavily supportive of Morgan Edge, supports him all the way through, and is against Lois and thinks Lois is wrong, doesn't know what she's talking about. Oh, sorry. Lois does argue, when the Christians have a barbecue, Lois still, has her arguments with Kyle about Morgan Edge, where they don't agree about him. General Wayne, like Captain Luthor, eventually attacks General Wayne, giving him this signal, or saying SS3 or 4 on it, a code that they were friends. You find out that he was from another Earth, that Superman, of course, murdered his wife and basically murdered a bunch of people and was trying to kill him. So millions of people died on his Earth. That's why he's trying to kill Superman. Sam Wayne does tell Clark about, tell Superman that he's been stockpiling kryptonite just in case Superman ever turned evil, or they had to deal with other evil Kryptonians trying to attack, just in case. Because being a general, being a head of the military, his job is to keep everyone safe. Lois eventually went to the Smallville Gazette with a woman named Chrissy, who, she's a big fan of Lois Lane, and they decided to work together on trying to stop Edge, trying to, investigate him and find out what he's up to. But eventually, though, with Captain Luthor, with John Henry Irons, you find out that on his Earth, he was married to a Lois Lane on that Earth, and that Superman, that evil Superman, murdered her, when she was doing a report, right in front of him and his daughter's eyes as they were watching on TV, seeing his wife murdered right in front of his eyes. So, as you could say, he has a reason for wanting to kill Superman. But overall, Heritage was a good episode, in my opinion. Alright, another favorite is called The Perks of Not Being a Wallflower. Jordan, has also been bullied because he's always been bullied. But now that he has his powers, he decides that he wants to join the football team. Does use a bit of his ability. He does get the guy's respect, but Clark, when Clark finds this out, tells him, no, you can't join the football team, Jordan, no. It's like, because you can hurt somebody with your powers, just kind of like in Smallville, and Clark couldn't join the football team because of his abilities, because he could really hurt someone, with his super strength, and, even though Jordan is just tired of being pushed around, but eventually Clark decides to join the football team, like kind of as a football manager, both for free, but just to keep an eye on him. Sarah quits, breaks up with her boyfriend, the one that Sean, the one who beat up, tries to start a fight with Jonathan and Jordan. Also, she has an argument with Lana. She quits the, Lana is like, I guess, the cheerleading coach or whatever, and she's like, Sarah, don't walk away from me, and she just has an attitude with Sarah, just kind of fusses at her, and her and her daughter are arguing, but eventually they make up as well. This is one of the family able to function with her father being a bit drunk and laying on the couch, and Kyle tries to sing a song to Sarah, but I guess she's just kind of annoyed by it. Lois ends up finding a woman, Sharon Powell, who tells him that Morgan Edge, kidnapped her son, that her son, Derek Powell, has been missing. And so, Lois, and Chrissy, they got like a board or whatever, they're investigating what Edge is up to. Excuse me. Well, she goes to meet Shannon at a hotel, but a man attacks her, a man who has superpower, super strength. Eventually she has like a red beeper to call Superman. Clark comes as fast as he can, and he tries to fight this man in the hotel. But he's pretty strong. He's able to grab Superman kicks. He just punches Superman down on the ground, knocks Superman out. Superman's able to eventually fly back up like this, and uses freeze breath and takes the guy out eventually. And at the end, his assistant, Moynihan's assistant, I forget what her name was, Lisa Lohr, she uses a heat vision and she kills the man. Basically just to cover up what Moynihan is up to so that Lois Lane doesn't find it out. Lois ends up being okay. She calls up Morgan telling him it's done. I'll call the team. But overall, Persia beat a War, another great episode in my opinion. So, yeah. Another favorite of mine is called Haywire. General Wayne asks Clark to escort Theodis Kilgrave, who's being transformed in a metropolis. Due to Superman's recent absence from the city, Superman, of course, has been absent. Of course, he still goes to save people. I do like the scene, though, where maybe it wasn't in this episode, but him and his family are like trying to paint the house because they're moving into the Camp Barn farm and they're trying to paint the house and they're like, don't paint each other, just playing around. And McCluskey sees he's in trouble. He goes to save a bridge from falling down. He's able to catch the bridge, and I think it was in another country or whatever like that, because it was like, the man's like, Superman high, whatever, Superman was like, giving him a smile and flying away. But Superman's been absent from the city because he's been, of course, a family man. He's been busy dealing with his sons and stuff. General Sam Lane, who is also kind of like staying over at the farm, tells the boys that don't distract your father so much because the world needs Superman, because something dangerous happened. He needs to be there. You guys have to understand that. Clark, Lois wants him to show up at the rally. There's this rally going on that she wants him to show up to him, tell me, but of course he doesn't come because he is set up for searching for Kilgrave, who will, things end up being there, escapes. Superman is able to kind of like track him down. He does find him, but Kilgrave has this weapon that it's like a vibration weapon that can hurt his super hearing and can weaken Superman. Tag Harris, who was at the bonfire, gets these superpowers, and he starts kind of like having jitters or something like that, and he attacks, I think, Jonathan or Jordan, or just they try to help him out. He doesn't attack him. I'm sorry. He just kind of goes off crazy, and they're trying, don't call Dad because he's busy, but they do call their dad because something dangerous about to happen. And of course, Superman comes and flies Tag up into the air to just save him. But General Wayne, after telling, John and Jordan about their father, when Lois and Clark found out about this, Lois told him, my family is the most important thing to me. And Lois tells him, you're involved, and they tell him they just tell Sam to get out. And Sam decides to deal with that dog tag Captain Levy gave him. Maybe they'll have to trust him instead. But Maury and Edge and his assistant, Lisa Lord, they find a supply of kryptonite in the mines, what they're trying to help people work. But secretly you find out that he's giving people superpowers, and that this thing called S-kryptonite, which I've never even heard of, but what this S-kryptonite can do is give people superpowers. It can basically make them like Kryptonians, and that he's up to something big. And that's when the episode ends there. Alright, another favorite of mine is called The Best of Smallville. You have a harvest festival that comes to Smallville. Lois and Clark just spend time with their sons. Tell so responsible, wife's responsible. Jonathan, eventually his girlfriend Eliza from Metropolis, dumps him, and this just upsets him. He even is rude to Sarah. They go to the festival. Eventually Jonathan gets drunk, causes some issues between the relationship between Jordan, and Sarah just kind of interrupts them, and Sarah's like, you know what, you shouldn't be like this, you're just being a jerk. Jonathan just kind of walks away. Eventually that woman, Sharon Powell, brings her son, Derek Powell, says that, he's fine, he's okay, and even Derek says, I'm okay. But you see that he's displaying powers as we give donations out in this building. He eventually starts to have heat vision that goes off and goes crazy, that he's not okay. But eventually, Captain Luther, John Henry Ryan, eventually introduced him as a reporter to Lois as Marcus Bridgewater, offers to help her with her investigation on Moraine Edge. And like I said, he is on another Earth. Her doppelganger of Lois Lane was his wife that was murdered by Superman, but he wants to help find some kryptonite too. Before this, but he's doing it because the world could be ending soon, or million people would die. So he's in order to stop Superman, for him to kill Superman, he has to help Lois out. Chrissy eventually finds Derek. She sees what him and Laura are up to, sees them, put Derek in a machine, giving him more powers from the next kryptonite. Derek Powell eventually gets caught by Superman. Superman sees what he's doing. Kind of like an nighttime scene, so you see Superman, and Derek Powell starts flying up, Superman starts chasing him. He starts, using heat vision to put places on heat. Like a crop field, Superman uses freeze breath. He nearly is using heat vision on barns and everything, and Superman is flying and chasing him, and he's using his freeze breath to take care of that. And as they're fighting a bit, though, they eventually crash, right in the middle of a crop field, and Superman tells Derek Powell, I can help you. He's like, no, you can't. And he kind of overuses the heat vision, and Superman's like, no, I can help you. And eventually, Derek Powell kills himself. Well, presents a bench that is dedicated to Martha. And it's got a picture of Martha as well. Eventually, then Jordan is ambushed by Superpower Terry, who wants to know what he did to him, so he starts beating Jordan up, and that's when the episode ends. But overall, good episode. Alright, then another favorite of mine is called Broken Trust. Jordan eventually is able to call Superman for help. Superman shows up, but Tag is able to go away. Superman tries to fly and chase him down, but using his X-ray vision, Tag just, using super speed, gets away. Jordan ends up developing a migraine, or as you can say, kind of like activating his heat vision, which gives him headaches. He's superhearing thing. He has to wear headphones on his ears because he has controlling the superhearing, and they're ready to go to like a football game, something like that. They choose not to tell Clark what's happening. Eventually Clark can see that Jordan's having a hard time, and Jordan's tackled down. Clark is like, okay, let the heat vision out. So Clark gets his arm out like this, body is laying down, and Jordan lets out his heat vision, and Superman Clark has got him right there, just trying to do what nobody can see, using his powers like that. Gets on to Jordan, he's like, Jordan, why did you do that? Why didn't you tell me? Like, Dad, because then you freaked out, you want me to play. Dad, I just want to be normal. He's like, which other thing, Jordan, you're not. I know it's hard to accept, but you gotta go through this. You can't be lying to me like that. You gotta be honest with me. Morgan Edge promotes Lana to a mining position operation to help, get more people in for jobs and stuff. But even Lana admits that Morgan Edge feels to Kyle that makes him uncomfortable, like, honey, just because he gave you a stare or maybe flirted a little bit with you, he's Kyle, like I said, Kyle will trust Midge. Eventually, Lois and Marcus, John Henry Irons, eventually they investigate the mines. They find that kryptonite in it. Leslie Lois attacks him with heat vision, but he's got these high-powered weapons. And Lois is like, you need to tell me the truth. I'm like, what is a reporter doing with all these high-tech weapons? He does save them though, but Lois doesn't really trust him. She tells him, like, okay, tell me who you are. Of course, he would keep lying to her. Superman found his tag in Metropolis after he kidnapped Sarah, asking Sarah, what happened to me? I keep having shooters here, I don't know what's wrong with me. The DOD is about to take Tag down because General Sam Wayne sees him as a threat, so he wants to put the kid down, basically wants to kill him. And Superman's like, no. They almost shoot the kid, but Superman's able to stand in the way, kind of like to guard him. And one of the military men, they have kryptonite bullets, they shoot Superman, Superman's like, gets down, gets the kryptonite out of him, just uses heat vision, and, uses his speed to run up to the guy, angry, his heat vision's coming almost out of his eyes, and, because he's pissed off, because, they almost killed him, Jordan, who was hanging out with the boys after they were told to not by Clark, not to go anywhere, just to stay there for the night, to stay in the hotel, but they go hang out, drink a little bit. Jordan is about to fight one of Metropolis boys who was a little boy teenage boy that picked on him when Jimmy and Jordan were younger, so Jordan wants to get back at him by punching him in the face, and Jonathan's like, no, Jordan, and Jordan's about to punch him, and Jonathan steps in, uses his hand like this, and he punches him in the hand. And, being a Superman super strength, since Jordan has the super strength, it breaks his arm. And, of course, he ends up being mad at Jonathan for it. Jonathan ends up being mad at Jordan for a while because of that. He breaks his wrist. He tries to apologize to Jonathan. Him and Jonathan eventually do get back along, but Jordan, feeling guilty for not using his powers and having to be this way, cries, and Lois, always someone tell him it's okay. And then he starts having a seizure. So Clark flies him straight to the Fortress of Solitude to see what's wrong, and that's where the episode ends. But a good episode in my opinion. And then another favorite of mine is called Man of Steel. Jordan, has a super hearing causing headaches, forcing him to stay home. He can't go to school. Lois is not going to school because of his abilities. Wanda also, who was, working for as Massachusetts 5 candidates for his leadership program, involving her old friend Emily Pan, who basically, like I said, he wants to use these people to give them powers. It's just ex-Kryptonite army. Superman does. Superman arranges. Lois tries to arrange Superman and Marcus to meet. Marcus, John Henry, the man in the suit, tries to take on these military guys. Superman's able to use his powers to stop them. Tells John Henry, not to fight this way, and they decided to meet. And he has a meeting with with Marcus Bridgewhite, and who reveals that he's the stranger, and he's like, "You're the stranger," and he's got like these red solar flares, like flashes in the car everywhere, and he's got this hammer which he knocks Superman out with, and he's prepared to kill him. And knocking Superman out, almost getting, red solar, which is the red sun, which, Superman gets his powers from the sun, basically, and when he gets a red sun, which is a Krypton sun, he has no powers. He's completely weak human, basically, and it takes away his powers. So he's prepared to kill Superman, see what he did, and, Jordan and Jonathan hear that their dad's in trouble, because Jordan is able to use his super hearing. They eventually run the guy over with a truck. Don't kill him, just passes, John Henry runs out, and, Jimmy Jordan gets weakened by it, and Jonathan grabs the hammer and hits the car, knocks the red solar damper down, and Superman gets mad. John Henry runs, gets it down, and Superman grabs him, ready to maybe punch him, and, it was like, no, it's okay. And then, of course, he's sent to jail, the DOD. And like I said, he also had a wife and daughter. His daughter was named Natalie. Essentially, he was programmed for Lex Luthor's John Henry's. I guess that's why it says Captain Luthor, because he's got that suit. I guess to defeat Superman, to avenge his family, to stop this evil from coming. But overall, Man of Steel was a really good episode in my opinion. And another favorite of mine is called Holding the Wrench. Holding the Wrench, yeah. Movie 37, okay. John is interrogated, but he only speaks to Lois, but Superman tells her no, she doesn't want to speak to him. Superman, he tells Superman what happened in his world. Superman's like, I'm not that world, Superman. I would never do anything like that. I would never kill anybody. I don't kill, period. But you will. You'll be turned. Because before he came to this earth, when he came to this earth, this Superman was trying to kill him in space. Jonathan and Lois explore John's RV, where they find photos of him, and there's Superman, Lois, and his daughter Natalie. Eventually, Jonathan sees a video of his mother, Lois Lane, being killed by Superman. He explores the RV on his own, but the RV does not recognize him, so the RV kind of goes into lockdown mode. It's kind of like Google, but if Google wanted to kill you if it didn't recognize you. It says Jonathan can't name that unnoticeable, and then it gets ready to just shoot him down and kill him. Lois can't do nothing about it. She's knocking on the door, but it's just locked. She's like, Mom! Jonathan's calling for Lois. Lois has to use the EOT to call Superman over, because when Superman means there's trouble, and then Superman breaks into the RV, breaks it down, and gets Jonathan, shows him, and the weapons start shooting at him. Eventually he's able to use his X-ray vision, sees where the weapons are coming from, uses heat vision, destroys them, and they say, you're okay. Later on, Lois yells at Jonathan in anger, like, how could you be so angry and, reckless and stupid, Jonathan? He's like, you can't do that, you can do it, and this hurts Jonathan's feelings, and she's like, get out of my face, And Lois goes to therapy, saying that she had a miscarriage with a baby girl. Lois can use, a sense of humor sometimes, just to not talk about certain stuff. But when she does that, she does cry. And when Jonathan was about to die, it really hurt her. But her and Jonathan eventually make up. She tells Jonathan about her losing the baby. Her and Jonathan eventually make up. Have a basically have a mother and son moment hugging each other in grief. Sarah shows up for a singing competition in school, which Sarah's really, she's got a cute voice, very good singing voice. Jordan shows to help her out, but Jordan starts to get sick. He's sneezing, but he's sneezing freeze breath. So he gets sick. Found out that John Henry Ernest gets kidnapped by Lieutenant Mr. Ross to place kryptonite powers. I guess he's one of ex-kryptonite people, one more just added kryptonite powers people, whatever. Sorry, Thanos says. But Lois ends up being okay after her therapy, which I believe the actress she was talking to was Wendy Crewson. I remember her from the Santa Claus movies. But anyway, John gets kidnapped by this lieutenant, who Superman fights with this lieutenant. He's able to use like a kryptonite when he shoots him, like there's kryptonite in the air. It's like kryptonite gas. A weakened Superman. That's like John Henry, helps out taking this guy out, but he's about to kill Superman. And Lois, talks him down, like, don't do it. And he gives up. Sam is forced to reveal parts of 73-4, which is an RD division for decided harm Superman if he should turn. John is released by DOD, I guess, apologizing to and Superman kills him off, which you go what you're looking for. So maybe you'll find his sister or whatever. But eventually he'll come back. But, as John leaves the camp form, I mean. But overall, good episode in my opinion. Alright, then you have another very nice called Lower Subjects. Edge ends up realizing that Lana has been feeding Lois until eventually she's been working with Lois because she's suspicious of Moynihan, so she decides to help. Behind Kyle's back, who Kyle does not support Lois at all. He said he's been supporting Moynihan all the way through because he thinks Moynihan is helping people, trying to do the right thing for the town. That he's a good man. But Lana goes behind his back and helps out Lois and Chrissy investigate Edge. Jordan does get infected with the kryptonite by his father, is taken to the Fortress of Solitude. And eventually his dad's like, hugs him like, "It's going to be okay." And then he's got to stand like in this room in the fortress where all this heat vision is going into his body, taking all the freeze out because he'll die. And Jordan has to stand there and just feel all the pain, but Clark is there with him, holding him. And he does miss Sarah's talent show performance. Meanwhile, Edge mostly investigates, aggravates the subjects, including Emily, and they attack the camp for him. But before they get attacked, by Lana and Osorbi, they were to run away. Eventually you find out that Jonathan takes some of John Henry's weapons, and Kyle, Lana's husband, who has also been a subject as well, because he was upset that that his wife lied to him, that Bernie doesn't trust him. But eventually he's able to get that experiment on him, and he becomes a Kryptonian monster. Basically attacks, should attack him, but Jonathan shoots him down, which I thought was cool. He tries to attack Lois and Lana, but eventually, Lois has kryptonite, and the DOD come take him down. They put the Kryptonians in him, and they put mostly Kyle, the Kryptonian Kyle, in a kryptonite cage. Kryptonite cell, sorry. Superman's able to fight off these attackers too. Edge later summons Superman, and he's got like a black kryptonite suit on, kind of like he's like Zod or something. But then he reveals that he tells he's like, I know you want to kill Al, and he tells Superman, I'm your brother, I'm half brother or something like that. Superman tries to fight him first, but Edge or whatever that he's Kryptonian punches him out, and eventually he's going to tell him his plan. But that's the end of the episode. Overall, good episode. Then another favorite of mine is called "Oh Mother, Where Art Thou?" Edge reveals himself as Tau, the son of Zeta-Ru, and Laura, who is, of course, he's Superman's half-brother. Now, before Laura, who was Superman's biological mother, had a relationship, was married to Zero, but eventually, I guess you could say divorced him on Krypton, divorced him, and decided to marry Jor-El, and of course they had Kal-El, and he tells him of his past, that they're her brothers, that he came on Earth too, but instead of being welcomed to Earth, he was hunted down like a dog. The humans were shooting at him, and they used his heat vision to kill these humans off when he was a boy. I guess you can say he didn't really have a good childhood, wasn't adopted by a good family. When he goes in the desert, builds his own fortress of solitude, you found out Terror Edge was, that his father was basically, Zeta-Ru is just Zero, he's just plain evil. He just tortures his son, sees him as a weakling, doesn't love him at all, has no love for him. But his father sent him to Earth to resurrect Krypton. So basically, while Superman was sent to be the savior of the Earth, Tau, Edge was sent to resurrect Krypton by, rebuilding it, even committing genocide to do it on Earth. So that's why the whole with Edge Kryptonite, putting it into people, he gives Superman time to think, to join him. Eventually the DOD, they come up at Smallville, they help these people out. Kyle, Sarah, eventually Jonathan tells, I'm sorry I go over worse than somebody use it. Jonathan and Jordan eventually are talking to Sarah. Jonathan tells Sarah that her father, is not himself. They go see why. When he talks to Jonathan, he's like, you're the one who shot me with a kryptonite gun. Because when I get out of here, I'm going to kill you the first one I'm going to kill. Which Kyle says to him, well, the Kryptonian side of him says. He found out this device was created by their mother, Laura. They use it to inflate his mother's mind, and so Lana, she knows who Clark Kent is, but she doesn't know Clark is Superman. So Superman, she's like, whoa, I never seen him in person. And, but she's willing to do this, and, you see Laura, she's like, tell out my son. He's like, she helps him fix the Eradicator, and my son, I'm so proud of you. He's like, I've seen that you found a woman. He's like, I have two sons, Jonathan and George. Like, tell me all about them, my son. It was kind of nice to see Superman rekindle with Laura, because again, his mother died on Krypton when he was just a baby, so he's never met his mother. Eventually, she's able to talk to Lois as well, tell him that you're the right woman for my son. Eventually, they do fix the Eradicator, and Superman's going to get ready to go save the people. And his mom, Laura, who sees for the last time, Laura says, my son, go save Earth. Do what you were meant to do. Superman, these people, the superpower people chase him. Superman has the Eradicator, uses heat vision on it, just uses all his strength. Like when she lands on the fortress with powerless, just passed out. But he saves the people. And Morgan Edge, and Laura, they're in the canyon playing the next move. But the season's not over yet because they still have a trick up their sleeve. So. Alright, then another favorite of mine is called A Brief Witness in Between Time. Superman experiences flashback of his life. Like, for instance, we've got to mention earlier, you see him in an episode, after Jonathan died, what he's supposed to do. He tries to use superpower like wearing a ski mask to stop some bad guys. But Martha tells him, Clark, you gotta go find your own destiny. And eventually he's in the Antarctica, in the Arctic or whatever, and he's like, what am I supposed to do now? He's got the crystal, he throws it, and he meets Jor-El for the first time, and Jor-El says, I'll teach you, my son, this is the force of solitude where you can be you, kind of like hide from the world when you need to, or just need to be alone. Your fortress of solitude. Tells him about his power, tells him about Krypton and stuff, teaches Clark about his powers. You see Clark using super speed, becoming an adult, eventually going back to Smallville. He's in a relationship a lot of times because of being a superhero, but Lana has moved on in his relationship with Kyle Cushing, and Clark using his vision is able to see that she's engaged, and Martha says, well, she had to move on, you were gone for a long time. And eventually you see him, his mother gives him a suit, the Superman suit she makes one of the 1940s Superman, the Flash cartoon suit, and he decides to be Clark Kent, mild mannered reporter, clumsy, to use that identity, and then like where Clark is, trying to ask people where the data planet is, where this is at, where this room is at, people are ignoring him, and then when somebody's in danger, he saves that kid once again. He's still in the pod episode, saves the Clark from falling with the kid, and the kid's like, nice suit. He's like, thanks, my mom made it for me, and then flies off with it. And eventually he's able to meet Lois, and immediately there's an attraction between them. They work together on the planet for a while. There's this flirtation between them. They start to get along. They eventually start dating. Clark's like, no, I don't want to quit and go by my report. I just like you here. It's like, well, Clark, do you like the job or do you just like the company? The flirtation's going on. They have someone who's starting fires. Superman saves Lois from getting burned, and he eventually says, I don't have a name yet, but I'm sure you'll think of something. And she's like, Lois is like, tells some people, that's Superman. She interviews him, and Superman tells him that, she doesn't have a crush on Superman, that she likes Clark Kent, that she's been dating for a while. Clark eventually brings her to meet Martha, and decides that he's not involved there for that, but to reveal his secret to her, and he tells her that he's Superman. She accepts him, and eventually every time he asks Lois to marry him, they get married. Of course, this is where they have sons. Superman sees flashes, first saving Lois, and then when they first find out when they're going to have Jonathan, when Jonathan's just when they're going to have him when he's a baby, and but you find out that Tower Rule, it was a dream that it's this device. It's a kryptonite technology invented by Terralot. Basically, it's like this thing that goes in your head, and he's like, I'm going to show the things you must love the most. So he grabs the crystal, destroys Jor-El. Jor-El's like, I love you, my son, and destroys it, killing Jor-El. And he's like, he punches like, we could have been brothers, we could have joined me, we could have both ruled this planet, and he takes it personal, as you can say. And eventually Sarah and Jordan, but you see Kyle apologizing to Lois for not believing in her after what Edge did. Eventually, Sarah and Jordan share a kiss. She tells Jordan not only friends anymore, so they decide to become boyfriend and girlfriend. Tyrell, Edge comes over, just flies to the house, and says, I'll just kill his family too. And Jordan tries to use heat vision against Edge, but Edge is able to use it back, take him down, and Superman's like, no, I'll join you. I'll go with you. He takes Superman to the canyon, to the fortress, his fortress solitude, to the desert fortress, places him in the Eradicator on the guidance of his fellow central holograph, which, they would use like this big heat vision, the Eradicator on him, giving him these powers, basically turning Superman evil, or basically bringing, like Edge Kryptonite, using it on him to bring General Zod out. And she calls John that Superman has been turned by Edge. Like John Henry Irons, like I said, we will see again. Alright guys, we're nearly done. Okay. And Through the Valley of Death. Yeah, Through the Valley of Death. Next favorite episode. It was channels out of consciousness in the Superman. But, John returns to Smallville ready to take down Superman and eventually ready to kill him. Lois is like, I came out and help you. She tries to convince him not to kill Superman. But he says, Lois, he'll become evil. Millions of people will die. You gotta want to take this risk. But she's like, well, I have hope. She wants him to believe, basically have faith, basically have hope that they can save Superman. But John doesn't want to listen, wants to kill Superman. He has a versatile rocket which he's going to use to take out Superman to kill him. Eventually, Argus, parts of the rocket were created by Argus, and of course we see John Diggle. Now, if y'all, Joe Diggle, he says hi to Lois. He doesn't trust what John Lance is. Like, really? You didn't tell me that false information earlier, 3 times before. But, John Diggle is the character from Arrow. Remember, that Arrow was the show that started this whole Arrowverse TV series, and Superman Lois is also part of that. But it's what started the Arrow is the show that started the whole Arrowverse. But in Arrow, he was John Diggle. He was Spartan. He worked with Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow. So, yeah. But John Diggle thought that, so he didn't even trust John Henry Irons. He was like, let me get shit from another Earth. And he tells Sam like, we're gonna have a talk. But it was cool to see John Diggle there. Because I think by this time, Arrow, the TV show Arrow, was already over. Eventually, Lois tells John that Clark is Superman. See that there's a humanity in him, I guess you can say. The Christians are also being blamed for what happened. Their house gets assaulted, saying, gets vandalized, saying, get out of Smallville. Their friends won't talk to them anymore, just saying, get away from us, stay away from us, we trusted you, and this happened, this is your fault, even though it was really Edge's fault the whole time, but people just don't want to hear it. Jordan is able to locate his father because Jordan's able to use super hearing. Edge wants him to stay back, to stay away. Eventually, John gets his suit on, has a fight with Superman. Eventually, Superman is able to come back. He's like, Superman, come on. He's like, instead of trying to kill Superman, he tries to help him, tries to tell him, remember Clark, remember. Because he's able to keep him calm to protect his identity. He's like, Clark has a memory of his Jordan job and the Lois, and then goes back to being Clark Kent, Just has to fight it, he has to fight that monster inside to get out, and he does. He's able to go back to being Superman. And they take down Moy and Edge. They both fight him, which is cool. They team up. And, Edge is like, we could have been brothers, me and you. We could have saved this, we could have. And then Superman just punches him in the face, knocks him out, which I thought was funny. everybody outside was gone, and so it was the forces were there back here. After he's, of course, they arrest Edge and put him in a kryptonite cell, but they also try to hunt down his assistant, Leslie Lord. So, but anyway, Lily Valley does good episode in my opinion. Then another favorite of mine is called Failsafe. Okay, guys, we only got 3 episodes left to talk about. 3. Stay on my water. Lois tries to tap DOD to free Terrell, but Superman and John, attack her. They fight her with her. How I get that when they do like a fist pump, but they able to take her down. With all the kryptonite going, kryptonite taken down, Sam wants to abandon the project because he doesn't, sees that there's no point in having them more. Maybe he says that it's important more to protect his family, and since Clark is his family, because he's his son-in-law, so has to get rid of it. But Clark just, says no, we need to keep it. It's a good idea that you did. Superman wants to reverse the weapons as a failsafe, just in case. He does turn evil again, or if more Kryptonians ever come. Even though they can kill Superman. Lois just lets that go. She even has a fuss with him about it. But they hand the project over to John. Terrell remembers his training, disagree with his father's original plan for restoring Krypton, so, he goes through a mind fade, I guess. He himself kind of becomes the Eradicator. It takes over his mind. He breaks out of his kryptonite cell and flies into space and, gets the solar energy. I think in this episode, Jonathan and Jordan get in trouble. Jonathan skips school just to hang out with a girl who he's liked, who first he wanted to date, but then she just rejected him. Then again just wants to question him, and he just walks away from her. Jordan and Sarah trespass and get in trouble for it. He gets arrested. They Jordan off for a warning, and Sarah. But when he's in space, he feeds off the solar energy. The Eradicator comes more into Edge's body. And then the episode ends. And then another favorite of mine is called The Eradicator. There's 2 more episodes left, y'all. Smallville businesses struggle with the residents growing angry with the DOD's presence in town. They have a town meeting. They start yelling at Sam Lane. Derek Powell's mother, accuses him of knowing what Ezra's up to all along. But, Sam being in general just knows best that, you don't want to cause, you don't want to cause panic. Maybe we'll need you don't want to cause panic. Even people, start yelling at him, start chanting and ranting. Chrissy gets an offer to get us out. Well, Chris thinks we have plans to maybe move out of town because Carl, gets, the mayor doesn't have his back. They feel like the whole town doesn't like them anymore. He almost argues with some of his fire crew who just don't trust him no more. So he decides to maybe work at a fire station and move his family around. But Sarah doesn't want to do it because again she loves Jordan and wants to be with Jordan, but. Hey, just some work out that way sometimes, but they don't move eventually. They decide to stay. Eventually Tal Edge breaks Lisa Law out of the prison. Lois nearly gets mad with her, almost ready to attack her. But it's like, I seen that before Krypton was saved or something like that, died. Tyrell uses new powers to gain more subjects. So Superman and John, Steel, well, that's what they should call him anyway, but anyway, they have in his armor suit, they have a battle with these people. Superman's able to take one of them down, able to punch him out, but they can't attack Edge, who is the Eradicator, like a force shield, and it just backs him up, bumps him back from attacking. Lois is doing a report on it, and the world is watching what's going on, what Edge has been doing, who he really is. Lois nearly gets killed by Lois the same way that he was Superman and that others gonna kill her, but eventually though she gets saved by John. He uses his hammer, is able to do this good throw of it, and hits her in the head and stops Lois from killing Lois. Edge eventually escapes. Meanwhile, Sam picks up the twins to take them to safety because they're at a party. They get attacked by Tal, who kidnaps Jordan and implants his father, Zetaru's consciousness into him, which is pretty creepy on it. But that happens. Superman and Lois are distressed because they're worried about their son, trying to find him, and the episode ends there. Alright guys, just one more favorite episode and that'll be it. You know what, I will think I'll turn this light on. Hey, can you see me? I'll just turn my blinds. I'll fix some blinds later. And then the last Sons of Krypton, which is the final episode of the first season of this season of Superman and Lois. Zetaru allows Jordan to connect with Superman, I guess to keep him busy, to use his human side feeling of it, but then he attacks Superman, him and Superman fight a little bit. Zetaru comes to the DOD at Smallville, is able to turn these soldiers into his own military. Zetaru tries to eventually use the Sheshimon to resurrect Krypton, but Superman and John fight their rule of the Council, who, the very critical Council. They are going to go over their plan to rebuild Krypton by committing genocide and, killing as many people as they can. John knocks out Zeta's rule. They take on unconscious Jordan to the Forum. Lois is able to enter his mind using that technology, that Kryptonian device, and is able to get into Jordan's head. Zero sees Lois and is like, "What you gonna do?" Kind of look. But Lois is able to get to him because Zeta is about to attack and kill Jonathan. But eventually Jordan is able to take over, and he's flying a little bit, which is cool. And then the whole thing, Jonathan and Jordan will give each other a hug. Eventually they're able to stop Edge, and maybe he is in prison by the end. I don't remember what happens to him, but he's like, "Kal-El, all I wanted was us to be a family again, to be brothers again." And then he's like, "Tell, not this way. Couldn't have been this way." The Superman is supposed to let into the world about who he really is. Kyle gets his job back because he saves a woman from a fire, just jumps right into the fire and saves his woman's life. Lois purchases half the Chris, the Smallville gets it, so that him and Chrissy can become partners, and she gets happy about that. They have like a grill at the end, a cook-off at the end. Superman recovers the pieces from his father, which, finally saying goodbye to Jor-El. They kind of buried Jor-El a tree at the camp for him, telling his father bye, that he was his dad, and that he loved Jor-El. They have like a little rest in peace to Jor-El. Pay some respect to him. But by the end, John, who before he tries to leave, though, his daughter, Natalie, shows up out of the vessel and she returns. When she mistakes Lois for her late mom, she's like, Mom, and she's giving a hug, and then the season ends there. So Superman and Lois, yeah. And then the show ends. The season ends. With John Henry singing his daughter Natalie. So, but y'all, that is the end of Superman and Lois season 1. Sorry, I'm just bugged by this. Okay, yeah, it's getting dark in here, so I'm gonna turn this light back on. I'm sorry. But giving my final thoughts on Superman and Lois season 1. Yeah, like I said, love the season. It was really good. I enjoyed a lot of it. So this was great. This was good. It wasn't woke or anything. Really good. It had a good story to it. I like Superman and Lois being parents, and Superman having to deal with, being a father and kind of being Superman saving people. I think it had an interesting story about them trying to go back to Smallville just to be a family and be closer to the family. I think, Jonathan and Jordan, really good characters in my opinion. Yeah, they could have sucked. They could have been annoying brats, but they weren't. I thought they were good characters, I thought they were good kids, sometimes they do things that, maybe stupid things sometimes, which as teenagers do, like Jonathan getting drunk or, doing stuff he shouldn't do, but that's teenagers do stupid stuff, I'm sure. I was a teenager once and I've done stupid stuff too, so, But, yeah, Jonathan Jordan really good. Tal Hutchison, what a great Superman. Do I think he's better than Henry Cavill? Yes, but I still like Henry Cavill as well as Superman. I mean, to me, the true Superman will always be Christopher Reeve. And I would say I probably like Tom Welling more than him. But I think he's definitely better than Dean Cain and Brendan Routh in my opinion. So I would say he's probably my favorite Superman actors so far would be, number 1 would be Christopher Reeve, Tim Daly, I believe Tim Daly, who voiced Superman in is Tom Welling, Tal Hutchison, and and Henry Cavill, my favorite Superman. But, yeah, Dean Cain and Brendan Routh are my least favorite, but that's just me. But, and I like what they do with Morgan Edge. Yes, he was in the 3rd season of Smallville, but I like the whole thing with using his kryptonite for people, and, him being in Krypton and being Clark's, brother. That was awesome. That was pretty cool. And seeing Superman use his powers in the show. When you see him be Superman, yeah, the suit looks cool. It does look good. And we see him in action. It's good to see him use his powers. That's awesome. I forgot to mention there's like a bank robbery in this season where Superman has to fight off these bankers. These bank robbers. He just pushes them. Because he's Superman, he can just knock them down easily. But one of them uses a shotgun, takes Superman down. Superman gets back up though and pushes them hard. But it was a cool scene though, because I guess his powers get infected. But overall, but when you see him jumping in his action as Superman, yeah, it's cool. And I think it's really well directed, and the writing for the show I think is really good. The special effects, the cinematography I think looks amazing. Looks very beautiful to look at, and the actress just for Lois Lane, Elizabeth Tolson, she does a great job. And I think all the actors do a good job in the season. Dylan Walsh as Kirsten Lane does a good job. I think Lucy Lane comes back in the 2nd season now. I haven't seen the 6th season yet. Don't know when I'll watch it, but someday I will. But and do a video about it. But what can I say? Superman and Lois, great in my opinion. A really good start to this show, and I look forward to watching season 2 someday down the road and talking about that. So guys, with that, Superman and Lois, I'll give this season 5 out of 5 stars and a thumbs up. I can't think of any problems. Not really. No. I just think it's great. Great show in my opinion. So far, great. But I'm not going to say great show until it continues. Hopefully it keeps on getting better and better. I want it to get better and get it. Please, writers, don't go woke because you go broke. So please don't do that. Just be good. Have good writing. The family drama works. I like them. These 4 as a family, I think really works well. I think, these characters, make the show work. Superman and Lois, their relationship with their sons, it really just makes the show work, in my opinion. You know, it holds the show together. So, you know, I don't mind drama, as long as it's good drama, and I care about the characters, and the writing is good, and the directing is good, then I'm all for it. And you have good characters, and this show had good characters, in my opinion. I like Jordan and Sarah's relationship. You know, they make a cute couple. Yeah. And, yeah. Seeing Superman in action is cool, and seeing Lois being a journalist. Yeah, even though she wasn't in the planet, you know, she'll always be a journalist, because that's Lois Lane. That's who she is, a journalist, you know. But overall, Superman and Lois, great show. I give it a thumbs up. Season 1, thumbs up, 5 out of 5 stars, and thumbs up for Superman and Lois. Let me know, guys, what do you think of Superman and Lois, the first season? Do you agree with me, or did you hate the show? Tell me in the comments down below, what do you think of Superman and Lois? I personally think it's better than Supergirl. Supergirl, the first season was great, but after that, it just went downhill. Yeah. Now, I just hope this doesn't follow the curse of, you know, not the curse, but that's what I would call it. The whole thing with the Arrowverse shows where they start off great, and then all of a sudden, you know, they go downhill. I'm like, you know, a lot of them, for me, just kind of go downhill because of bad writing, just fall apart, and I'm hoping the show does not fall in that category of the Arrowverse falling downhill, you know. Just Supergirl did, in my opinion. A lot of them did. But I hope Superman and Lois don't end up in that category. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed my Superman marathon. I've enjoyed doing this. Yeah. I've really enjoyed doing the Superman marathon. I started with my history with Superman, so definitely go watch that video if you want to watch it all over again. But anyway, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed my Superman marathon. This was fun to do. Superman is one of my favorite characters, superheroes as well. But I will tell you next, after this, I will be doing a Batman marathon, so we will be starting my Batman marathon maybe this week sometime, since I'm on vacation off work. But I've got some movies to show up, and I got a trailer reaction video I want to do tonight as well. So I got 2 more videos coming up, so stay tuned for that. But guys, and after that, I don't know, maybe sometime this week, at the end of this week, I will be starting with my Batman marathon, and this video will be called My History with Batman. So, yeah, that's what I'm calling it, My History with Batman. So, you know, I'm going to be talking about Batman's history, how he came, when he was created, you know, and also my history with the character of Batman. So we'll be getting into the next phase of the superhero marathon, but now the Batman marathon. So I'm going to start with the Batman marathon, so guys, hope you look forward to that. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments down below once again, what do you think of Superman and Lois? What do you think of the show so far? What are your favorite episodes? And also, I hope you look forward to my Batman marathon. So stay tuned for all that, and stay tuned for another video, y'all. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. See you soon. Bye-bye.